Good morning, class. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, not 22nd, and we are going to get started today with our green circle and blue square graphing. I do want you to go back and rewatch that video on the X's left and right, from the side to the side, Y is up and it's down, yeah, from the sky to the ground, from 2 points you see, predicting trends easily, everything will be alright if we just keep graphing like Y is mx plus b. So yeah, if you missed my singing, go listen to that again. If not, let's just keep watching this and making sure that we're learning a little bit about graphing. So let's talk about what we talked about yesterday first. So we talked about this space that we record things on is a little bit different than the graphing that we've been doing in science. So in science, we have been given data points that we've collected from our actual lab experiments. We can do that too with graphing on the coordinate plane. However, most of the science experiments we've done have been in coordinate 1. Coordinate 1 is over here because all of the things that are in there are positive. So usually when we're graphing stuff in science, whether it's change over time, we're usually not working with negative temperatures. We're usually not working with negative distances or anything like that, although we did a little bit with a penny experiment at the beginning of the year, if you remember. And so that would have kind of ventured into quadrant 2. Or quadrant 3. We really haven't graphed anything this year in quadrant 4. You might have to wait till next year. So we've been focusing mostly on quadrant 1. That's kind of what our green circle is going to be. Our blue square is moving more into graphing across the whole coordinate plane. Tomorrow is a special skill that's really challenging, and I'm really sad because I had a really fun shock activity for us to do that got completely canceled because of the coronavirus, and I know that is not anything compared to proms and weddings and funerals and things like that have been canceled, but it still makes me sad. So let's get started today with a little bit more review. So remember that if something is positive, in its ordered pair, and an ordered pair is basically just a set of directions like your GPS, that might tell you to turn left or turn right, go up, go north, go south, whatever. This is your ordered pair. It's like your GPS. It tells you where to go on this coordinate plane. And so if it's positive, it's going to be found in quadrant number 1. If it is negative, positive, it's going to be found in quadrant number 2. If it is positive, negative, it's going to be found in quadrant 3, and a quadrant is just a fancy way. You might hear that word quad in it, which means 4. So a quadrant is just 1/4 of my overall coordinate plane. So this is one quadrant, this is one quadrant, this is one quadrant, this is one quadrant. Kind of think of this as being like the different parts of Pueblo. So maybe like this is Pueblo West, this is Pueblo North, this is Pueblo East, and this is Pueblo South. Just as a random kind of way for you to think about it. If we were to divide our city into 4 points, what would that look like? These are the directions of how to get to those various points. So then finally, if you have a negative, that's going to be found in quadrant 4. And now I'm realizing that I did the 4 backwards. Writing Roman numerals backwards now, people. So these are my ordered pairs. These are my directions. They're telling me where to go. So if, for example, I have 0, 1, like this, 0, 1, my 0 is telling me where to go on my x-axis, and my 1 is telling me where to go on my y-axis. Remember, x is left and right from this side to this side, so if it's saying 0, that means I'm not going this way or this way. I'm going to be right here. If I am going positive 1, that means I'm going to go up 1. Because y is from the sky to the ground, up and down, right? So 0, 1. So my point would be here. Now you might be wondering, what quadrant is this in? It's in the middle. So it's actually in 2 different quadrants. It's in quadrants 1 and 2. Think of this about like a store that might be in northern Pueblo, but also near the Riverwalk. So it's in kind of it's in between 2 different locations in Pueblo. Okay, let's get to our actual work for today. So which quadrant is each coordinate found in? You may also use color if your paper is color-coded, or you can look at this screen. So where would 2-3 be? Let's kind of do these first couple together. So there's 2 ways I could do this. One way is I could just look at my chart of positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, negative, to see where it falls. So if I'm using that strategy and I'm looking at this coordinate 2, 3, right? This is what I'm trying to graph. I could notice that it's positive, positive, right? So I know that it's going to be in quadrant 1, or this section of my graph. I could also actually graph it out, right? So if it's positive, I'm going to be moving towards the right. If it's negative, I'm going to be moving towards the left. So since this first one is positive, and I'm going to get rid of our previous dot so we're not confused. So this 2 is positive, so that means we're going to be going to the right. So let's go 1, 2 to the right, and then this 3 is also positive, so we're going to be going up 3. So over 1, 2, up 1, 2, 3. Boom. That's where it is. It's pretty easy to see that it's in quadrant 1. Let's do another one together, and then I'll let you do the rest by yourself. So the next one, let's do the ones directly to the right that says -2, -3. And a lot of students, it's always interesting because they're like, oh, they should be pretty close together. They're the same numbers except for negative. Well, let me tell you, it's going to be very different. We have -2, -3. So remember, when a number is negative, that means we're going to go to the left first if it's on the x. This is my x coordinate. This is my y coordinate, right? So I'm going to go -2, 1, 2. Notice how I'm going this way instead of this way. And then I'm going to go -3. So instead of going up 3, I'm going to go down 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Over to the left 2, down 3. My dot is here. It's actually kind of a mirror image of what we put in quadrant 1. So again, we can graph it out and we can see that it's in quadrant 4, or we could look and notice that it's negative, negative, and then it's going to end us in quadrant 4. So I hope that you guys are able to at least figure out the quadrant. Please feel free to ask me questions if that's not clear. Let's move on to the blue square. These are our answer keys. So 2-3 is red 1, 1, 1 is red 1, -2, 3 is yellow 2, -4, -5 is green 3, 1, -1 is blue 4, 5, -4 is blue 4, -2, -6 is green 3, -2, -3 is green 3, -2, -1 is blue 4, 4, 5 is red 1, -2, 0 is 2/3, -3-4 is green 3, and -3 is yellow 2, 6, 2 is blue 4. I think my numbers might be slightly different than yours. Follow the ones that are on your paper because it is hard for me to do this backwards on my particular screen. Okay, so graph each of the coordinates below and write which quadrant they would be found in. So make sure you're doing the same thing where you're going over 2 and then up 2, going over 3 and then down 5, and so on and so on. So I want you to try to do this yourself. I'm going to give you some independent time. Pause this video, solve it, and then come back to check your answers. So if you're looking at this slide, this means to me that you finished your previous work and you should be coming here only if you're ready to move on. So we have here the 4 coordinates, we have all the plots, and we have the answers. So please feel free to ask me any questions if you're unclear. Even just graphing these might make it a little bit better. I'm noticing, yes, okay, yeah. I'm just backwards, so it's a little bit hard for me to do this with everything being backwards. Hopefully that did not confuse you more. Just review that song, review this video if you need any help, and be sure to ask specific questions, and I'm happy to record more videos for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you are able to do this math really well. I will see you tomorrow.